it's supposed to represent the community and represent the children. And that feels really icky.
Some Portlanders are calling for Cesar Chavez Elementary and Cesar Chavez Boulevard to be renamed after new allegations that he spent decades sexually assaulting and abusing women and girls. What we know coming up.
And in Portland Public Schools, the school year could end a little bit earlier than expected. We'll tell you why and what staff members have to say about it. Plus,
let the madness begin.
You heard Orlando. March Madness tips off in Portland later this morning, and it's safe to say basketball fans are excited.
We've been doing this for about 6, 7, 8 years, and before that, my parents took me to the first and second round NCAA regionals every year.
We are talking basketball all morning long. More on the teams playing at the Moda Center today coming up as your News at Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Thursday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Happy Friday Eve, everyone. Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. All right, Rod, so a deal's a deal. I owe you $5 from yesterday.
71.
Why?
71 yesterday.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Went to 70 degrees. That's what we did yesterday. And
Well
by the
done.
way, you said happy Friday Eve. It's also happy Spring Eve.
That's right.
The spring solstice taking equinox, pardon me, takes place tomorrow morning at 7:46. This is the final day of winter. You can see what's mostly light rain to our north, but along the coast, it is hitting you folks in Astoria and even down toward Tillamook, Kelso, Longview, expecting to see some light rain during the day today. But we're all dry here in Portland. Here's the Oregon Zoo live camera up in the West Hills. We'll call it a mix of clouds to overcast and about 50 out the door. It's another very mild start. Watch out for some sprinkles around Portland, but that would be it. And maybe you don't even see that. 60 degrees at noon, high temp today in the mid 60s. Here's Chris.
Rod, we've got a wrench, a screwdriver. Might need a tow truck. That's what this emblem means here on the I-5 South commute near La Center. A disabled vehicle right now has the left lane blocked, so there's a little bit of local slowing getting around that. Farther south down towards the Interstate Bridge, the drive getting a little bit busier, but so far zipping right along just fine on that side of town. Your trip across the Columbia looks good on the Interstate Bridge and the Glenn Jackson Bridge. And a quick check elsewhere on the freeway system. There's a live look at the Sylvan Hill. That too in pretty good shape. A speed limit clip from all directions heading into town for now. So far, so good, guys.
Thank you, Chris. For generations, the name Cesar Chavez stood for Latino civil rights. But years after his death, that legacy is now tainted by new accusations that Chavez spent decades sexually assaulting and abusing women and girls. The New York Times first reported on the two women who say they were 12 and 13 when Chavez groomed and assaulted them. Now, longtime labor leader Dolores Huerta, who worked alongside Chavez, says he forced her to have sex with him against her will. Chavez, who died more than 3 decades ago, was well known for helping highlight the struggles of field workers in the 1960s. Huerta, who is now 96 years old, says she stayed silent for years because she didn't want to hurt the farm worker movement. Now across the country, including here in Portland, there's growing concerns over public spaces like schools, streets, and parks named in honor of Chavez.
Many community members want a name change as soon as possible, some noting that just seeing the name is upsetting. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live. And Corey, the city and school districts say name changes do involve a process. That's right?
Yeah, good morning, Matthew. China here in Portland, reaction is already taking shape, with some calling for immediate action and change, and others pushing for the community to rethink what these names mean in the first place and what they represent. Now, from North Portland to a major city boulevard, the conversation is moving quickly right now. Some community members say the name no longer reflects the values the school represents. Others are pushing to rename Cesar Chavez Boulevard after labor leader Dolores Huerta, who worked alongside Chavez. Now, a city spokesperson says Mayor Keith Wilson is open to conversations about a potential name change and that the process would be community driven. One neighbor tells KGW the school is meant to represent the community and its children and believes the district should act now to change the name.
Kind of like, wow, how did this take so long? But then look at everything else that's taken so long, the Me Too movement and everything else. And when this stuff gets out, it's good that it gets out and it is corrected like in a city like Portland.
Now, per city code, one of the first steps for a petition would need about 2,500 signatures, and Portland Public Schools says it's processing the recent news and is also noting that any school renaming or name change would have to include community engagement and, of course, a board vote. Back to you.
Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Corey, thank you. Meantime, Oregon's biggest school district may end the school year a few days early.
Yeah, class could end in Portland Public Schools on June 5th as the district tries to make up for a budget deficit. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from Portland Public School headquarters. Thomas, what else do we know?
Well, guys, we do know now that teachers have been asked to take 4 furlough days, and if that is agreed to, school would end on the first week of June. According to Willamette Week, May 1st, May 25th, June 9th, and June 10th would become furlough days for teachers under this proposal from PPS. Negotiations are happening as Portland Public Schools' mid-year budget gap has grown to $14 million. The district is also facing another $50 million deficit for next school year. These budget issues have hung over Portland Public all year long, with some staff members telling us they've been worried about the possibility of layoffs or furloughs for months. We spoke to PPS administrators about the deficit earlier this month. They tell us they're trying to reach an agreement quickly.
Really trying to make sure that we come to an agreement as soon as possible so that we can give as much lead time to our families and community if there is going to be an interruption.
Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Armstrong says central office leaders will take 5 furlough days. Armstrong will take 6. Still, Portland's teachers union says their trust in the district's ability to navigate finances is broken and says the union will be doing a forensic analysis of the budget. Now, the best way to think about this idea is this is really a Band-Aid, a short-term idea to have the furlough days. Long-term, Superintendent Armstrong says the school district is still considering closing some schools because of budget deficits that could happen in the future. Still, this furlough idea is a proposal that hasn't been agreed to yet. Teachers have until tomorrow night to cast their vote. Matthew, China.
Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thomas, thank you very much. And Oregon leaders are checking in on the statewide school cell phone ban. Wednesday, Governor Tina Kotek heard from students at Estacada High School. Now, Estacada says it's seen a 4% increase in attendance rates, and at the high school level, it's seen student work completion jump from around 58% to 83%.
So we were grateful to see this edict come from, from Salem and from the governor ultimately, which really gave our teachers and our administration the confidence to have the ability to step forward and demand this expectation.
Where students are more engaged, teachers to get that joy back, and students are talking to each other like real people.
So what did the students have to say? Well, everything from they get more work done, they have formed new friendships, to wishing they still had their phones during lunch. Kotek says it's clear the changes are working and she has no plans to change the policy.
I wasn't even swerving or anything like that, or driving fast or anything.
You're driving backwards on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as if you
were
just
reversed.
It's not.
It's not.
Oh, trying to make that argument. 911 received numerous calls after this car was spotted driving backward down a Florida highway. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office quickly tracked down the driver. Body cam video shows the man explaining that the car was stuck in reverse and that he was trying to drive it backwards to an auto parts store. Deputies, however, noted that the mechanical issue apparently disappeared once they caught up. Authorities say they arrested the driver for habitual driving with a suspended license.
I mean,
it's the same thing.
Good for him for effort, kid.
I mean,
wow.
He navigated pretty well going backwards. I mean, probably better than I would. That turn there.
So one of my flaws that my family likes to point out to me, my wife and my daughter,
you like to drive backwards?
I'm not good at backing up.
Oh, really?
Not.
You got to pull one of these.
So you can't like parallel park? Are you not a good parallel parker?
No, I'm a good parallel parker, but things like backing out of the garage, or if you're somewhere, I haven't hit anything,
pretty big.
But it's a process.
It's a pretty big opening.
I don't want to get into details, man.
Okay.
I'm just trying to confess some of my,
we appreciate the honesty.
Things I'm not good at. Here's a look at our satellite radar. We've got rain mainly to our north again. Now, the exception continues to be you folks from this morning, Tillamook up to Astoria along the north coast, and then Kelso Longview up in Cowlitz County. You've been getting clipped by some of these systems, not every day, but today's one of those days that you will get clipped by a little bit of light rain. And then the last time we had this, we ended up basically when the cloud flow came a little bit farther to the south with rain chances, Portland basically has some sprinkles. And we may or may not see some sprinkles in town today. Temperatures are going to continue to be nice. It's not going to be as sunny at times as it was, although we had a lot of cloudiness depending on where you were yesterday. I've got temperatures 58 at 11 o'clock, 64 at 2, and 66 at 5. If you haven't heard, we hit 71 yesterday. Warmest of the year so far, and the only 70-degree day of the year so far out at PDX. Okay, with the cloud cover, we're in the 50s this morning. 50 in Salem, 47 though down in Albany, so some cooler weather. But Dallas, you were in the upper 30s yesterday, so that's a big switcheroo. 48 degrees for you right now. This afternoon, another day with all 70s, central and eastern Oregon. The Dow's up in the 70s. Eugene, Albany, Salem, you may hit 70 degrees again today. I've got Portland holding in the 60s at 66 degrees, which is what that shows. Here's our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow again, spring begins 7:46 a.m. local time. We're tracking that front, but it just looks like we don't get much rain. Latest model projections still like it's only about 1/10 of an inch. And then all dry Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Mixed weather system comes in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and that is your forecast.